Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it really is true. Seeing something visually always does a better and more effective job at communicating ideas and concepts than going on a long-winded rant or having to write something down, and this is one of those moments where the body language says it all. Oh, this was a very, very interesting moment. I'm getting such deep satisfaction from these kinds of situations. Having to watch these Democrats who fearmongered and lied and attacked and weaponized the justice system against President Donald Trump and then candidate Donald Trump, watching them now have to stand next to the president and play nice during some of these events at the White House. And this time, of course, it's none other than DC Mayor Muriel Bowser, who was forced to stand like a prop behind President Trump as he announced the 2027 NFL Draft will be held on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Well, obviously, Muriel Bowser had to be there, and what an awkward moment it was, as she had to stand behind the insurrectionist himself, the man who almost took control of the beast and drove it up the Capitol steps. Holy friggin' moly, there's a viral moment currently going on where people are pointing out Muriel Bowser's clear discomfort and her body language, and I want to talk about that moment because I think there's a greater at-large point that we could talk about here. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so first we had Gretchen Whitmer and her classic hiding behind the binder moment.
We're honored to have Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, great state of Michigan.
And well, now we've got Muriel Bowser and her very awkward body language. You just gotta see it. The eye rolls, the stiff posture, the twitchy shoulder, looking like a real leftist meth head standing behind Donald Trump.
So they came in by the millions illegally into our country. They just flowed in through an open border policy that was insane. And what we've done is we've offered, you know the numbers, but because we're taking them out by the thousands, we're being obstructed. It's very unfair. We have to get them out fast. These are bad people. These are people that are killing, and they've already killed many people. And they came in from the Congo, all over Asia, all over South America, parts of Europe. They flowed in and just walked right into our country. We had no idea who they were. That's a low number. But many are really serious criminals and terrorists and people from jails. They emptied out jails. You know, Venezuela, their crime is down 72% because they took all the criminals off the streets and the gangs, and they dumped them into our country. So we're getting them out. It's a very difficult thing with the courts because the courts have all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they said, maybe you have to have trials. We're going to have 5 million trials. Doesn't work.
She looked like she was about to spontaneously combust. And obviously that was intentional. She was doing that purposely to signal her discomfort. She didn't want to make it seem to her leftist audience that she was buddy-buddy with Donald Trump, and so she had to have her little Nancy Pelosi moment.
Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America. Thank you very much.
She had to hold her fist in the air metaphorically, signal to the crowd that she was not down with this. She's not down with the authoritarian Trump regime. But while she was making this grandstanding play to make herself look good, honestly, I think she achieved the exact opposite. Outside of pandering to a very specific Trump-deranged crowd, I mean, first of all, people don't like this stuff. They want to see unity. They're sick of the Democrats holding up signs during Donald Trump's congressional address, countering and protesting everything he does, constantly playing for the photo op. I mean, that's one thing. People want to see unity instead of this anti-Trump nonsense, this obstructionism for the sake of obstruction. It's divisive and counterproductive and people are sick of it, but then there's the second element, which is the clear optics. You know, her body language told us 10,000 words because you see her there uncomfortable and recoiling, but what exactly is she reacting to? What is it that made her so visibly uncomfortable, as if she was being ideologically tortured on national TV? She was seemingly so triggered by Trump telling the basic truth, talking about the immigration crisis that Democrats are responsible for, mentioning how Venezuela essentially made it their nation's policy to empty out their prisons and send those violent gang members and criminals into the United States, how MS-13 and Tren de Aragua are running loose in American neighborhoods thanks to the open border chaos policies of the Biden years, thanks to her party, and Bowser sitting there reacting as if Donald Trump's saying something so bad. Are you freaking kidding me? This puritanical leftist nonsense. You can't say the basic truth. You can't say illegal immigration. You can't target people from poor countries or of ethnic background because that's automatically racist. How stupid is that? Yeah, God forbid you mention that their policies led to a human trafficking crisis, cartel crime entering the country in unprecedented fashion, fentanyl overdoses continuing to skyrocket, total lawlessness on the streets. Yeah, God forbid you mention any of that. God forbid you mention real problems, real policy issues, because of course it makes you the bad guy because you said Venezuela. Oh, I guess Donald Trump just hates all Latinos. How incredibly stupid and frankly disingenuous. What Trump is talking about here is pure common sense, and what Bowser essentially signaled to the world through her cringe-worthy body language was that Democrats stand against that. They're doubling down and they're defending their record. They're defending the chaos, the street crime, the trafficking networks, the terror groups sneaking into the country while Alejandro Mayorkas pretended everything was under control. They're defending the collapse of the border, the destruction of American sovereignty, because they're terrified of appearing mean or xenophobic. Or if you dig down even deeper to the true sinister reason, they just simply use that as a tool to cover up the real intention of their policies, the mass importation of loyal Democrat voters. Yeah, maybe she was reacting that way because Donald Trump's actually right, and they absolutely hate it. It's just all so ridiculous, you know? And the conclusion I'm coming to is that Democrats are dying on this hill. They've learned absolutely nothing. After everything, the fentanyl, the cartels, essentially listing Joe Biden and the Democrat Party as employee of the year every year for 4 years straight, Tren de Aragua taking over neighborhoods. After all of it, they've learned nothing. They're still trying to frame this issue as some kind of moral crusade, when in reality, it's a national security nightmare and a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions that they created. And this moment, while people are laughing at it, posting photos of her looking awkward, I'm viewing it as something much more symbolic. It's the perfect snapshot of a party that has completely frickin' lost the plot. They're more offended by the man who's calling out the chaos and wants to do something about it than they are by the actual chaos itself that affects American citizens. And her body language sends a very, very clear message. It tells the American people everything they need to know. Trump is serious. Trump is focused on these issues. He wants to clean up the mess that they created. Meanwhile, they're more focused on playing this optics politics, still playing this divisive, toxic identity politics nonsense, where they can frame their political opponent as an evil, authoritarian racist. But I'm pretty sure nowadays people are sick of the virtue signaling. They're sick of the double standards. They're sick of the phony outrage and the condescending self-righteousness. And hopefully they could see right through this pathetic, morally outraged act. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got. That's what I gathered from this moment, at least. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the rant, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.